Well, we are jumping right in here as a Aether Vial gets Force of Negation, potentially stopping Death and Taxes from getting completely out of control, as those Aether Vials can just circumvent all of Nick's counter magic. Another plane, or a Wasteland now, into another Aether Vial. Nick brainstorms in response. Oh, I'll tell you, at this point, even if you have a Force of Will, at that point you really don't have any counters for their creatures anyways. Let's see if he lets this resolve. He does, and now, oh, for another Aether Vial, so a good thing he did not Force of Will there. Even if he had it, those forces perhaps can find something like a Swords to Plowshares later, or maybe a creature that has to be cast honestly. And now, is that myth realized? Aether Vials tick up. I think that's myth realized. Alright, we got some spice here. Mother of Runes coming in end of turn. That eats a Swords to Plowshares. Vials ticking up to 2 apiece. So many dangerous cards can come in at 2. Stoneforge Mystic, Thalia. The deck also has those 3-mana Recruiter of the Guard and Flicker Wisp plays. So Aether Vial provides just a tremendous amount of value in a long game for Death and Taxes, which is why Nick would be so keen to counter it. Not only does it provide a bunch of mana acceleration, but also makes them uncounterable. So you're basically tapping that thing for 3 mana like a reusable Black Lotus by the time it ramps up. Death and Taxes, so brutal in the late game. Phyrexian Revoker coming down, likely just stopping that myth realized, which I'm going to go ahead and pull up all of the text on. Whenever he casts a non-creature spell, it gets a counter on it, and he can pay a white or pay 3 to add a counter. So all of those activated abilities shut down for now, but it will get triggered abilities every time a spell is played. Mother of Runes is in there, and a Swords to Plowshares attempts to take out this Phyrexian Revoker. But Flicker Wisp saves it. And now another Flicker Wisp. Oh no, a Recruiter of the Guard, which can grab a Flicker Wisp. And this feels like this may just be out of hand here. Actually, I'll probably have left that win mark up, as Heather seems like she may be just well on her way here. 6 damage crashing in, Mother of Runes, and yeah, that is a wrap there. Nick facing down an absolute mess there. Mother of Runes able to protect from spot removal. That Flicker Wisp going to be able to remove the Recruiter of the Guard and get back another Flicker Wisp and just assemble that squad of Delver-like creatures. Just so much to deal with there. Now, we're not going to be able to see these sideboarding like we typically do. Of course, when we have that top-down camera, when we're playing in-store, we get to see a little bit of the player's hands here. We've got to kind of guess based off of the deck lists and what we think we might see. The good news is you can actually play and find yourself on camera, as this is recorded over our Discord server every Wednesday and Friday at 7 p.m. While you're at it, if you are not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and help us out by subscribing. When we hit 2,500 subscribers, we're going to give away a custom leather playmat to one lucky subscriber. And of course, if you're listening to this video as it comes out, Double Masters available for pre-order on our site. I've had some people ask how they can help the channel and the store in these crazy times. And while I've considered getting a Patreon together, and still may, I don't have anything against the concept of Patreon per se. probably come up with some pretty cool rewards for that. But, you know, I sell things. I'm a store. Sell magic cards. So, I can definitely help you with that. Sealed products, super easy. I would actually love it if some international buyers bought some product and we did some openings. Like, those would be fun. I'd love to do some box openings for you guys. Ponder for Nick. And Aether Vial for Heather. That goes uncontested. We'll see if Nick has some answers for Aether Vial. Disenchant, Fragmentize. There are a bunch of options. Rishadan Port. Now during the end step, Prismatic Vista going to grab a basic Plains. Nick on just the old school basics, not snow basics over here. Able to play whatever art he wants. Rishadan Port taps down that island. And passing the turn, Aether Vial ticks up to 2. And in the same sequence of events there, and now we've got a Myth Realized coming down for just 1 white. Nick, however, stuck on 2 mana. Down a game. This could actually be quite bad for him. Another Rishadan Port. That stacks up pretty brutally. Got a Snapcaster Mage played during the upkeep. Targeting Ponder. Oh, and he doesn't draw the land. And now a Disenchant on Myth Realized. Arcadian Masks art. Aether Vial during the end step as well gets Recruiter of the Guard into Flicker Wisp, I'd imagine. This is getting really out of hand. Nick in a terrible spot here. Practically take a miracle to get him out of this. This is so bad. Recruiter of the Guard fearlessly swinging in to that Snapcaster, and now what is that? I did not catch what that card is. Let me know in the comments. Really not sure what that was. I can't really see what effect it had on the board. Huh. Alright, so we've got a Aether Vial activated end of turn. Flicker Wisp are going to come in and get this Recruiter of the Guard. Oh, he's got a Swords. Alright, I mean, he's hanging in there. He's hanging in there. Getting the mana base going. It would be quite a comeback if Nick manages this. 3 in the air. Facing down 2 Rishadan Ports. And a little bit of glare on that card. We'll see if we can deduce what it does. There's an Aether Vial in response for a Flicker Wisp. And that looks like it was trying to destroy, so perhaps a Disenchant. Oh, I think that's the full art Disenchant. I think I can see it a little better in the discard pile. Snapcaster, totally down to trade with a Flicker Wisp. Right now, 6 damage at a time in the air is going to be a pretty quick clock. That Aether Vial ticking back up. I mean, it's better than having it destroyed, but not by much. If this game does go long, it could pay dividends, but this is not looking like it's going to go super long. A couple of Rishadan Port activations, tapping Nick off of his white mana. And he draws a Volcanic. And a... Is that a Pyroclasm? Nice. Wow. All right, so Nick prepared with an absolute bomb versus Death and Taxes. Pyroclasm, one of the stronger cards against this deck. You kind of have to fall into the area of things like Massacre before you start to get a little bit more potent. Pyroclasm does an awful lot of damage. There's also some -1/-1 effects, which can be pretty tough to contend with. And engineered explosives, and now fetching. Oh, but bad news. As a Stoneforge Mystic going to come in, Nick has committed all of his mana, and now Batterskull going to hand. I wonder what the life total is here. I wish we had that on screen. I feel like Sword of Fire and Ice might have been totally fine there, just to get it down and hit for 5. Be interested to hear in the comments what you would have gotten. Would you grab Batterskull? Would you grab Sword of Fire and Ice? Is it possible that Heather has the sword in hand and is just going to get it out? Monastery Mentor. And, actually, looks like she might have Swords to Plowshares, but honestly, with this Ponder, unless it finds a Force of Will, there's not too much difference in between just swordsing on your turn. You might as well get the Batterskull out now and then resolve the swords on your turn at your leisure. Every turn that Batterskull's out is going to be important. This Monastery Mentor has made a monk. Now this Batterskull gets a germ out. It's amazing that Nick is in this. Such a brutal start. At one point, facing down 2 Rishadan ports active versus just 2 lands. And a Swords to Plowshares is stopped by a Force of Will. And now a Path to Exile. And that one's going to resolve. Nick getting a basic, and I mean, this is an interesting board state now. That land of much higher consequence than normal, and a couple of Aethersworn Canonists. Heather really committing to the board here. Now with Canonist in play, Snapcaster Mage not going to be able to create a flashback. So that Pyroclasm in the graveyard, not the biggest threat right now. It's really going to be a question. Oh, actually, though, Mystic Sanctuary would be a beating. Let's see if Nick runs that. That would be graphic. Jace the Mind Sculptor brainstorms. Now, the other consideration there was Jace bouncing the germ. That would slow things down considerably. But it would be just that. It would be slowing things down. Right now, the inevitability seems to lie with Heather, as Batterskull can get returned to hand and then replayed over and over again. We've got a Swords to Plowshares taking down a germ, and now a token trades with the Canonist to push through a couple of damage. And this Batterskull is going to be able to reset end of turn. Oh, that's actually during the attack step, so let's see how this goes for Nick. Only 1 card playable per turn. So I think we just saw Jace bounce the Aethersworn Canonist, brainstorm, and now a return the Batterskull in response. Though this Batterskull is going to be naked when Stoneforge puts it in at the end of turn. There will not be 3 mana available to return it in response. It is actually a pretty big decision here. So the fastest thing to do is to go ahead and use the Stoneforge to put in the Batterskull. Ooh, and Snapcaster Disenchant. Taking out that Batterskull. That's a big play from Nick. And this game is looking... I mean, at this stage, I think Nick's ahead. He's handled the Batterskull. He's got a Jace the Mind Sculptor. this has really gotten away from Heather. I mean, that was one of those starts where it almost feels like you can't lose, and Nick just hanging in there. Let's see what she does to follow this up. It is, at this stage, really looking like attacking the Jace would have been crucial. As it sits there with 2 loyalty counters, that 2 points of life would happily be traded to have that Jace the Mind Sculptor off the board. A Thalia. And now a Sanctum Prelate. I wanted to say Chalice of the Void. I mean, it's similar to Chalice of the Void. Snapcaster trades with that Stoneforge Mystic. And what is Jace to do here? Brainstorm. Bounce a creature. Depends on what Nick has in hand. There's 2 creatures out. If he has some type of Wrath of God effect, Supreme Verdict, and he does not, and that is going to do it. So, well fought there from Nick. Just fighting uphill the whole way. Heather manages to hold on there down the stretch with continued pressure. Something Death and Taxes is known for. Its inevitability proving to be true once again. That is all for this one, but don't worry, there is a lot more. You can check out our older videos, and we're always putting out new videos from ELD's Time Vault games in Bellingham, Massachusetts. If you want to help the channel, of course, you can like, subscribe, share, tap that notification bell so you can know the next time our new videos come out. Thanks for watching.